What's up guys, it's Kelly and today I've got another favorites video for you. So today we are looking at my top 10 favorite nail polishes that came out for fall 2021. If you aren't familiar with my ongoing favorites series, I basically have two different parts. One part is where I go over my favorite polishes of all time, including polishes that are no longer available, but I'm also doing a seasonal video where I share my favorite polishes that come out for each season, because I do review a lot of polishes and I know it can sometimes get overwhelming. So I really like the idea of just sharing with you guys my current favorites that are still available that you can get for the current season. So we've got 10 polishes to go over today. We actually have a bonus 11th polish, but even though this polish did come out this season, it is no longer available because it was limited edition, but I really wanted to add it, so I'm just gonna tag that one on to the end. But really we have 10 available polishes that I highly recommend, my personal favorites that came out specifically for fall 2021. I actually started this series back in fall 2020, so it's officially been 1 year since I've been sharing my current seasonal favorites. I thought it would be fun to look back and see which shades that I liked in fall 2020 and see if there were any similarities or like big differences just based on what came out for the year, and I actually thought it was a really interesting comparison there. So if you're interested in seeing what I picked last year versus this year and how they differ, I will put up the fall 2020 favorites. However, just keep in mind, since that was from a year ago, some of those polishes might not be available anymore. But back to 2021, let's get started with my 10 faves, plus my little extra bonus honorable mention fave. So we'll start off with a classic. This is China Glaze Spice to Meet You. This is a really beautiful fall orange cream shade, and I just feel like this is the perfect color for autumn. I always find myself going towards these slightly dusty, darker orange shades, and I'm always excited to get my hands on another one. This one in particular just has a really incredible formula. I feel like China Glaze has really improved their cream formula, and this is a very great example of it. It's 2 coats for full coverage, but it just applies really smoothly and evenly. I definitely enjoyed it, and I'm definitely going to be using this one for some pumpkin nail art because it's just the perfect color for that. Next up we have another orange shade. This is ILNP Uptown. This one is in an orange base, but it is actually a scattered holographic polish, and I just immediately fell in love with this one. It's part of their Manhattan collection, which honestly is probably my favorite collection that came out for fall 2021. Every color was pretty much a winner, and the formulas were all incredible. I just feel like they were so opaque, which is really impressive considering ILNP is usually 3 coaters on me and I do have short nails. So just having this really incredible, super creamy, opaque formula really impressed me, but the colors as well were just absolutely stunning. This is just another really great shade that feels very fall classic pumpkin-y orange. Next up we have a polish from Morgan Taylor. This one is called Keep 'Em Guessing, and this is a really beautiful, soft, neutral cream shade. I would describe this one as a taupe. It really sits somewhere between being a beige and being a gray, and it has a really nice cool undertone to it. Honestly, the thing I love most about this color is the formula. Even though Morgan Taylor, I actually like their formula in general, but it is pretty thin. I was expecting this one to be a 3-coater on me, but it ended up giving me really nice coverage in 2. I just feel like it's a nice, basic, classic color again. I know not everybody loves like the basic cream colors, but I personally do. I always see shades like this in fall that are perfect for nail art, and I think this is just one of those. But don't worry if you're already bored by the creams, I do have some specialty finishes. We're actually going to get into a couple of them right now. So next up we have What's Up Nails Chrome Colored Glasses, and this is a really beautiful rose gold metallic foil shade, and this one's actually interesting. OPI also came out with a rose gold shade that I would say is a dupe in their fall 2021 collection, but I personally found myself preferring this one. I just think it's a little bit more opaque, so it's definitely one that I would reach for more often. I think rose gold has a tendency to end up being more orange or copper, but this one truly has a very pinky tone to it, so honestly I love it for that. I love the formula of this one. It's not too thick that it's difficult to work with, but it's also not super thin and almost jelly-like like that OPI one ended up being on me, so this is just a really beautiful rose gold metallic shade. Next up we have another polish from the What's Up Nails fall collection. I honestly just could not go without mentioning this one. It is one of my favorite polishes that came out for the season. It's called Horsehead Nebula, and it's actually a multi-chrome polish, so head on it looks pink into purple, and then around the edges you can see yellow and green and even a little bit of a blue. But the cool thing about this multi-chrome is it's actually magnetic as well, so when you put a magnetic wand over it, it really concentrates all of that multi-chrome own pigment, and then the area around it is just super dark and vampy and gorgeous. This was definitely the standout shade for me in the What's Up Nails collection. I feel like it's just a really unique color in general, but it's also a shade that I wouldn't have really thought felt very fall-like, but when it came out in a fall collection, I was like, oh, this totally makes sense for fall. So just another shade I really loved. Next up, we have another shade from the ILNP Manhattan collection. This one is called Broadway, and it's just a really beautiful magenta base that again has that scattered holographic flake running throughout. This is actually what I'm wearing on my nails right now, and honestly, I have worn it a few times already, which I feel like is kind of crazy because I've only had this collection for like a month. I just feel like this is the exact kind of color that I've really been vibing lately. I feel like it matches my current hair color. It matches the colors that I've been gravitating towards recently, just in terms of like my makeup and my style. So this one was definitely my favorite of that Manhattan collection, but honestly, I just can't say enough good things about that collection. It was really good. They had these really beautiful jewel tones. It felt perfect for fall, but it also feels like I can use all of these shades for winter as well. Next up, we have a polish from Essie. This one is called High Voltage Vinyl. I feel like it's so interesting for me to be adding an Essie to my favorites of anything, because for a really long time, I did not like Essie at all, but I do feel like their formula has improved significantly. This one in particular is the super deep green base that has this sort of duochrome shifting shimmer that goes from yellow to green. So it almost looks like this like blackened yellowish green shimmer color. It's got really incredible opacity, but it also has a really easy formula to use. It just feels very perfect for fall, but there's also something a little bit mystical about it. Like I feel like this could definitely be a really good Halloween polish as well. There's like this sort of enchanted, mystical, foresty vibe going on. Maybe that's just in my head because I'm excited for Halloween, but that's what I'm getting out of this polish. I think it's really nice. And again, I just really like this improved formula, and I really, really like the improved Essie brush. It's very good now. Next up, we have a polish from Orly. This one is Wild Willow, and it's a really beautiful olive green cream shade. You guys know how much I love green nail polish, but I feel like Orly in particular has definitely been coming out with a ton of really great greens this year. Aside from the 2 green collaboration polishes I came out with them, they also did 2 really beautiful greens in their summer collection, and then they did this one for their fall collection, and this just feels like a really beautiful fall color. I just think it's really awesome that they're giving a lot of love to a very underappreciated nail polish color, and they're also doing such great variations that, you know, really like seeing them lined up, you can definitely tell which season the polishes belong in, and this just feels like such a classic fall color. Next up, we have Cirque Pony Up, and this is a really beautiful rich brown linear holographic polish that also has a scattered holographic sparkle running throughout. Cirque is another brand that has released a ton of incredible polishes, especially in the last few months, but I feel like this color in particular was really a standout for me. I love browns and beige shades in the fall, but I feel like combining that color with the Cirque Hollow formula just really impressed me a lot. Cirque's linear hollow formula, I've called it an advanced hollow in the past, but I feel like there's just something so incredibly sparkly about it because they have both that linear hollow and the scattered holographic sparkle. So like no matter which way you're moving your hand, you're gonna get a ton of that holographic color. And the formula of this one is just really good. It's almost 1 coat full coverage, and the formula is just really smooth, very opaque. I just love this color. And last but definitely not least, we have Holo Taco See Ya Later Chai. And let me tell you, I never expected to see an almost full cream collection from this brand, but boy, am I glad they did it because I personally love cream finishes. I especially love that they decided to do it for the fall season, which is my favorite time of year, but this color in particular I just thought was so super gorgeous. It's a really beautiful beige nude cream, and it has a very warm, almost yellow undertone to it, but the thing about it that I really love is it just has such a good formula and really impressive opacity. Holo Taco is another brand that definitely improved their cream formula, so I was just really, really into this one. I actually used this polish as a base for a Burberry nail art look that I did for one of my nail art live streams. If you guys don't know, I do a nail art live stream every Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern. That is on Twitch, so I'll link that down below if anybody wants to join for those. But yeah, I just felt like this was the perfect base for that nail art, but I feel like this is also a really good fall base color in general. I just think this is a really perfect nail art color. So those are my 10 favorites, but I do want to give a special honorable mention to Cirque Spotted. Spotted. Like I hinted at in the beginning, this one is unfortunately not available anymore. It was a limited edition shade. It's sold out. I don't know if they're going to be bringing it back, but I would assume they're not going to. But I really feel like it deserves a mention because this was one of my most exciting polishes that I feel like came out for fall 2021. It's a very irregular matte black glitter in a clear base that kind of gives this speckled effect on your nails. It's almost like that bird egg speckle, and I just love the fact that they put it into a top coat. I love speckled polishes like that, and Cirque does them pretty often, which I really enjoy, but just making it into a top coat so we could do it with whatever color we want was especially exciting to me. So I definitely really enjoyed this one. I'm gonna get a lot of use out of it, and I kind of hope that they bring it back because I want more people to have this polish. It's really fun. So yeah, those are my top 10 picks for fall 2021 nail polishes. I'll put all of them up on the screen right here so you can check them out together. I think it's interesting to see the kind of color story that I'm gravitating towards this season. Definitely a lot of those like beigey neutral colors, the oranges, the greens, but I was really interested to see a lot of this sort of warm magenta purple kind of color because usually I gravitate a lot more towards cool toned purples, but for some reason this season those kind of colors are really speaking to me. But yeah, these are my favorites that came out for the season. Like I said, these are just my personal favorites. It doesn't necessarily mean that they are the best, you know, obviously if you prefer other colors than I do, but in general I feel like the polishes that I picked are from collections that I really enjoyed as well, so I definitely recommend checking out those collection reviews. I do have a whole playlist of all of my fall swatches, so if you ever want to catch up, I will put that up in the cards for you. But yeah, I guess that is it for this video. I would love to hear from you guys. What is your favorite fall 2021 nail polish that came out? Let me know in the comments if we have any overlapping favorites or if there's any that you definitely recommend I try. If you enjoy this series, please give this video a thumbs up. It lets me know I'm doing a good job. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing. I put out new videos every Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday. Huge shout out to my Cosmic Admirals on Patreon, Amanda M, Braxton Scott, Kristen, and Rocket Man's daughter. I really appreciate your support, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye. Today's fun fact question comes from Patreon supporter Anne, aka The Crazy Sheep, and Anne wants to know, I know you've been in a reading slump lately. Any favorite books that you're likely to reread? So yes, I am in a bit of a reading slump lately. I have still been reading, and I've been trying to read a decent amount, but the problem is I'm not really enjoying the books that I've been reading lately. Like, I just haven't really found any books that I absolutely adored. Although I will say there's a book called House of Hollow by Crystal Sutherland, I think her name is, that I just read, and I did give it 5 stars on Goodreads. And that was probably the first 5-star book I have read in several months. So that was a very enjoyable one. Honestly, probably gonna buy a copy of that book because I definitely enjoyed it a lot. But yeah, I actually used to not reread books ever. And then in the last couple of years, I decided I was gonna go through and reread all of my favorite books. And I really had a good time doing it. Although I will say, honestly, I probably wouldn't reread any of them again until at least like a few more years have passed, because I just did a reread of like all of the books that I own, and that was mostly because the library was shut down for a really long time and I figured it was time to just start rereading. But one series that I actually really enjoyed reading for the second time after knowing what happens was Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. Definitely enjoyed that trilogy. I feel like the first time I read it there was a lot of stress because I didn't know what was going to happen and I was worried. And the second time I read it, knowing what happened, I feel like I really appreciated the story a lot more. So that was definitely a lot of fun for me. But yeah, that's it. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.